he had sort of tried to pose as this hard news, heir to Ed Murrow kind of guy, and that's BS. And now they're getting their numbers off radio talk show hosts they've given TV shows to, of course.
All right, let's talk a little politics with you. First of all, what do you think? The thing that's raging on The View the other day is whether anybody in the country is going to vote for Hillary or Barack Obama, really, when it comes right down to it, when they close that curtain. What do you think about that ticket?
Well, I think Barack Obama could easily get elected president.
You do?
Oh, yeah, of course he could. Sure. Look, if the question is his race, there are people who won't vote for him because he's black. There are racists still in the country, obviously. But I think there are more people who vote for him because he's black. People who feel like...
If they get a chance to vote.
Sure. Think about your own self. Let me put it this way. Democrats will vote for Hillary, right? Because
maybe
running against a Republican, they'll vote Democrat. But they're not going to feel great about it. You vote for Barack Obama, you feel good about yourself. You feel like, you know what, I'm a progressive, decent person. I've moved beyond, the old categories. I'm, broad-minded enough to vote for this good guy who happens to be black.
How does that apply to voting for a black candidate and not for a female candidate? Wouldn't you have the same...
No.
I think that, I just don't think it's as groundbreaking. I honestly don't think most people would be shocked if a woman's elected president. It's of course a woman could be president.
Oh, they're not going to vote for a woman.
You don't think so?
No. I don't. They have it in for Hillary. I like her very much. She's very warm, and yet they say she's cold. People just make up stuff about Hillary.
She's pretty appealing in person. I think
she's a carte blanche is what she is, or whatever they call that.
Maybe they should team up the two of them.
I agree with you.
But I just think in the end, a lot of people don't care for her. And do you really want to vote again for the whole psychodrama with her husband? Even if you love her husband, even if you love her, do you really want to go through that again? Not really. You know what I mean?
Well... I don't know. I think people love Bill Clinton, and you would get 2 for 1.
He could do no wrong. They'll get him no matter what he does.
And then a lot of people love his wife, but it's like it is kind of a vote for the past. And maybe people will be psyched to do that. I think she could win. I'm not saying she could.
Wait a minute. Isn't George W. Bush a vote? Wasn't he a vote for the past?
Yeah, people read it. His approval ratings are right there at Idi Amin level,
Yeah. Listen, Tucker, we have to take a break, but I want to keep talking to you, so can you hold on for a couple of minutes? All right, we're talking to Tucker Carlson. Our number here is 1-866-313-FREE. I also would like to know, Hillary's going to be on the show, The View, next week.
Right, yeah.
And I wonder if people will call in and tell me what they want me to ask her. We'll be right back. Hey, we got that plug in. And, I'm a big fan of yours, Tucker.
Well, thank you, too. I'm a Daily View watcher.
No, seriously?
I'm not kidding. Part of it is, I got to be totally honest.
Yeah.
I'm fascinated by Rosie O'Donnell.
Oh, well, so you didn't watch it before?
I did watch it before. I watched it a lot before, actually. And, I love Meredith, too. I'm not just saying that because...
Oh, so I'm just chopped liver in this, I guess. Okay, that's all right. I can cut you off.
It wouldn't be a show.
Oh, thank you. That's sweet, but you don't have to say it.
It's true.
What about Elizabeth? She's sort of on your team a little bit.
Yeah, I think she's fine. I'm not, I don't know. She doesn't sort of pop out off the screen as much.
But you're not really a conservative. I read that you're
a pretty libertarian.
Libertarian. What's the difference between a libertarian and a conservative in one sentence, would you say?
I think a libertarian has a deep, deep distrust of government's ability to make things better. Your just essential desire is to be left alone and not told what to do.
I see. So, you know who else is in your camp is Bill Maher, the fabulously, wonderfully intelligent Bill Maher.
He used to be. He's gotten kind of conventional, just less that way, I think. I don't know. A lot of people, I'm not a big Bush guy.
You're
I
not.
didn't vote for him last time or anything, but... But I don't hate him. I don't wake up in the middle of the night in a cold sweat thinking about Bush.
Oh, I do.
Yeah, I know. A lot of people do.
This is the thing about George W. I have a feeling that if he were here right now, I would like him. I'm sure I would. But I don't like his policies so much that I can't stand him.
Right.
It's a terrible thing. But, anyway, I don't want to get into my hatred of Bush. It's so boring. I was so interested when I read some of your stuff about you. First of all, what possessed you to go on Dancing with the Stars? You're even more klutzy than Jerry Springer.
No.
It's unbelievable.
Recklessness. The same impulse that...
To take the bow tie off?
Did your kids give you a hard time about it?
I don't know. It just seemed like a good idea at the time, and you can never go wrong, jumping face first into things. Or you can go wrong, but it's always a good time.
But, of course, I read in the notes that you're a deadhead. Oh, are you a pothead also?
I gave that up.
Oh, you did? Oh, you used to be a pothead.
I don't know. I'm 37. I grew up in California. Yeah.
See, that's interesting. You and Bill Maher. See, you were very, very similar.
Every day. I can't. I think it makes you dumb. And that's been my experience. I have, obviously, I know people who smoke it still a lot.
Yeah.
And I actually have one friend who I think is made smarter by it. But in general, it makes sense to smoke it.
Do you think it should be legalized?
I think it should be decriminalized. I mean, I don't think the police should bother you for it. I think if you're causing a hassle to other people, you're making a scene, you're scaring the children, making the dogs bark, you ought to be arrested. But other than that, you shouldn't be.
See, this is that people don't know these things about you.
People would not assume that's your viewpoint
that you used to smoke pot, that you have a tattoo. I read that you had a tattoo.
Well, everybody used to smoke pot. Come on.
What's the tattoo?
Oh, I don't. You read that I had a tattoo?
Yeah.
What is that?
It's written on the wall right here in the studio.
No, it's written in the notes. It's in the notes.
Mistakes were made.
Oh, so it's a mistake.
No, I don't know.
You have one.
Is it a bow tie? Is it a tattoo of a bow tie on your neck?
No, on my neck. That's going too far. I don't think it's a wise idea to get tattoos on your knuckles or your neck.
It also said that you refinished or rebuilt a motorcycle while you were in college. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I still have the bike, actually. In fact, it's funny you mention that. I just started it about 20 minutes ago. I have the same. I bought a Harley for $900 when I was a sophomore in college, and I still have it.
But you went to Trinity up in...
I did, in Connecticut.
Okay, listen, Tucker. Yeah. Before we go, I just have one more question. Yes or no? Giuliani's going to run for the Republican ticket.
Yeah, it's not. He is running. He is.
He is going to run.
It's not a good idea. I don't think it's a good idea.
Why? Because there's a vowel at the end, or is it the comb over? Which is it? Speak to me.
It's America's profound anti-Italian bigotry. No, come on. I just think. I mean, you live in New York, right?
I'm Italian American.
Yeah. Okay. So you know that the things that make you successful in New York, or the qualities you need to run New York successfully, are. It's just not acceptable to the rest of the country. You can't. You can't. Remember his radio show, and people would. Call in and say, I don't like this. Up yours, buddy. You can't say stuff like that when you're running for president.
Yeah. All right. Listen, Tucker, it's been so nice to talk to you. I absolutely am a huge, huge fan of yours.
Well, thank you, Joy. I really appreciate that. And good luck with Hillary.
And thank you.
Nice talking to you,
Tucker Carlson. Tucker airs on MSNBC weeknights at 6 p.m. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back with more stars. Okay, we're back. And the number to call here is 1-866-313-FREE. If you want to speak to Joy Behar or Ben Bailey or maybe my girlfriend Susie Essman, who's on the phone right now.
Oh.
Susie.
Right.
Joy.
Hi, darling.
I'm at the office. I'm at Jimmy's office party in Albany.
Okay, this is Susie Essman, first of all, from Curb Your Enthusiasm. Susie and I know each other for, 25 years now?
23. Don't push it.
23. Don't get crazy.
23 years. Yeah.
Hi, Susie.
This is Ben Bailey, who hosts a show called Cash Cab. Have you ever seen it? No,
Ben, but I heard you're cute.
He's very cute.
From Julie at the barbershop?
Yeah.
I heard. I have my ways. Don't worry about it.
All right. I'll take the compliment and shut up
All right,
then.
so can I tell you something? So I'm in Albany with my boyfriend. We're at the office party. We just did the grab bag, and now we're on our way to the bowling alley.
Did you ever think this is how you would end?
Never in my wildest dreams did I think.
The life of a Hollywood star.
I mean, she's, this is Susie Green from Curb Your Enthusiasm. People think that she's really like that character. Tell them what happens when, people stop you
on the street. I'm at Zabar's on the Upper West Side of Manhattan. People come over to me and beg me to tell them to go, themselves.
That's great.
Phones in my face. It's my husband. Call him a fat,
She can't say it. We're not on Sirius Radio here.
Do you ever do it? Have you ever taken them up and actually?
Yes, I do it.
Yeah, that sounds like it'd be a lot of fun.
Out, Ben. You know what? This is what I do for a living. I tell people to go, themselves. I don't want to say,
But Susie's a very good-hearted, lovely person in real life, and that's why she's my friend for so many years, right, darling? And now
yes, I'm a good-hearted, lovely person.
And also, I know her 23 years, and she's been through several boyfriends, some of them alcoholics, some of them imbeciles, whatever.
Fine. But this one is it now.
So then she finds a guy who's like a regular guy. He's got a real job. He lives in Albany. He's divorced.
Can I say something? He sucks on paper. He's got 4 kids. He doesn't have a lot of money. He lives 150 miles away. But you know what? You can't have sex with paper.
That's
you know what
right.
I'm saying?
So she has sex with this guy, and she likes him, and now she has 4 stepchildren that she's raising.
He's here now annoying me. Timmy, go out. I'm on the radio live. He doesn't understand. I'm on the radio live, and he's like hocking me now.
They came to my house one time, the two of them, and Steve and I were there, and she didn't let him talk, would not let the guy talk. Every time we tried to tell a story, she would tell the story. So I
Well,
called
it's just
her.
a couple thing, right? Like some couples are like that. It's like,
Well,
Yeah,
she.
but I tell the story so much better.
Well, you didn't let me tell you what Jimmy said.
Go ahead.
Because I called her up later and I said to her, listen, you have to let him talk. So she said, Jimmy, Joyce says I'm not letting you tell the story. And he said, you tell it better. Now, that is a boyfriend.
That is the perfect man for me.
That
he's
is-
supporting
So
you.
now
when you
here I
need it, yeah.
am with the Goyim. I'm the only Jew in the goddamn place. Okay?
Yeah.
And well, I assimilate.
You assimilate.
I assimilate.
Did anybody pass a remark about your the
No,
tribe?
never. They're all big Curb fans. They never would.
Yeah, really?
You know what? I had a couple of glasses of wine. I'm at an office party. I'm a little, not drunk. I don't want to say drunk, but loose.
Are you going to bowl?
Yes, we're going to bowl now. This is
Wait.
what we do.
Are you going to bowl?
Yes. Last time I bowled, Joy, I bowled at 23. I'm not kidding.
That's
But you know what?
hilarious.
Bowling is fun.
Let me tell you something.
Bowling is fun,
Can
yeah.
I tell you something? Stephen Hawking bowls better than you. That is the worst score I have ever heard.
23 is pretty low, yeah.
23. But I had a good time, and I wore the shoes. I had the outfit.
Yeah.
That's all that
counts. Let me say something. Richard Lewis was supposed to call, and he said, what's up with Richard Lewis?
You know, I have to tell you, in 60, we're shooting our 6.
We're back, and the number to call is 1-866-313-FREE. 3733 are the numbers. And we are here talking to Katrina Zish from Us Weekly, and we've been going over a lot of difficulties in the Hollywood Bowl.
Oh, yes.
We've talked about Jennifer and Reese and Madonna and Kira and Pamela. And in the lineup of interesting stories, we were about to reveal who is number one. So
Reveal the big number one.
Number one. Give it to us,
that.
Ben. Number
And now, the number one entertainment story of 2006.
Very good voiceover
Ooh,
material.
very, yeah.
there.
I
He
like
needs
that.
a job as a voiceover
Get that guy a gig. Okay. Number one, not too surprising, but we're still so fascinated. Brad and Angelina.
Oh.
Not just their relationship, but now they have their own baby, Shiloh, who was born in May, and they really just seem like this unstoppable couple. But Joy, I think it's interesting you brought up earlier that they also could potentially be such a combustible couple because they're both the biggest stars in Hollywood.
Right. Right.
And Mrs. Smith, yeah.
Yeah.
And that goes with ego, usually.
Yes. So that'll be interesting to see. They do seem so strong. And I think one thing that is very helpful for them is they're not rushing to the altar. They both said, listen, we're not even talking about getting married.
Right.
We are legally bound to our children because they have 2 adopted children, of course, together. And Shiloh now, who's their biological child. They said, we're not talking about marriage. We don't need to get married. We don't want to get married. We're legally bound to our kids. We don't need to be legally bound to each other. We're together. We're in it together.
That's
and
cool.
I think that could help them.
That's cool with me. I don't care about the marriage.
No.
But, you know, it's interesting that when they have their own natural baby, then that baby's face is on the cover of the magazine. And that was the same with little Suri. We never saw the other kids
no,
that
the
he
adopted
had
children
with.
were shown,
Where
yeah.
were the adopted kids? All of a sudden, everybody wants to see the combination of the two beautiful
Of
people.
course, because you want to see how their genes morph together into
Yeah.
this perfect
Yeah,
human
it's
being.
crazy, too. It looks like, I mean, the picture, it looks like just a perfect combination of the two of them.
This baby does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
She's
the
got
baby
the,
is
she's got the Angelina lips.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if anyone ever accuses Angelina of
No.
having collagen injections, you know it's not true because the baby has the same lips.
You know, years ago, I guess about 11 years ago, I did 2 movies with Angelina Jolie. The first one was some movie that I did with Renee Taylor and Joe Bologna. We did it in City Island, and she played this Italian girl who came over from Italy, and a whole Romeo and Juliet story. She was nobody, and she was just great in the part. And then I did another movie in London, a scene in a movie called Hackers. I was cut out of it, and I remember talking to her at the time. This was about 11 years ago.
Okay.
And I said, you know, you're so good, you're great. And she said, I don't know, I want to be a bigger star. She wanted to be a bigger star. At the time, she was nobody yet. And I said to her, don't worry, you will be. I mean, you just take a look at those lips and you just know.
She's unbelievable.
And why is she so angry with her father? I want to discuss that with
Well, I
Georgia
think that's
Whitkin.
interesting.
Yes. Well, I want to just say thank you to Katrina Zish from Us Weekly. Go to your newsstand and pick up the magazine, and you can get all the dish on all of these marvelous celebrities. Thank you very much, Katrina.
Thank you.
And now we are going to move on. Ben, are you ready to move on?
Oh, I'm ready. Let's move on.
We are moving on to the extremely fabulous Miss Georgia Whitkin, the doctor on Fox. What are you on Fox News? What is it, Georgia?
Yeah, Fox News.
Welcome
Fox
to the
News.
show, my dear.
Thank you.
It's lovely to have you here, and you look wonderful as usual.
You too, my dear.
No, I look horrible. I need my professional makeup artist.
You don't.
Yes, I do.
That red hair is great.
Yeah.
No.
I used some weird shampoo the other day, and I can't get it out. Okay. Anyway, so let's go over because you're a shrink,
I am.
and this is called Shrink Tank. We're naming this segment Shrink Tank.
Do you like to be called a shrink?
I don't mind. I'm a professor of psychiatry at Mount Sinai, and I walk around saying I'm a shrink.
I'm a shrink. All right.
She's a heavyweight. She's
I'm a
got a
shrink.
lot of credentials. This
I'm a shrink.
lady.
All right, so we can call you whatever.
Yes.
Shrink is fine. You're
Hey,
very
whatever,
secure.
doctor, whatever. That's fine.
And
Doctor, whatever.
You know what? I could also invite people who are listening, some therapists out there who might want to call in if they disagree with your analysis. Would you mind that?
Oh, if they disagree, I mind. But if they agree, please call.
Well, either way. How's that? Either way. And the number to call is 1-866-313-FREE. Okay? Please call. We're here tonight till 10 o'clock, and we're going to have a lot of time to talk about all these crazy people in Hollywood. First of all, is Nicole Richie crying out for help?
Nicole Richie and a lot of these other very, very thin, very, at this point, very beleaguered young women, I really think are in late adolescence.
Uh-huh.
It's not just a term. I'm going to give you a description of what goes on in adolescence, and you tell me if you think it fits. Number one, very volatile, emotional mood swings. Fits? Fits.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Number two, a feeling that whatever you feel today is what you're always going to feel.
Oh,
if
I
you feel
know.
jilted today, it's forever.
Yeah, they freeze the frame.
If you're popular today, it's forever. If you're hot stuff, it's called hyper-reality, where everything that's happening to you is what's always going to happen and is always real. So if you're really having bad emotions and it's very volatile and you think it's going to go on forever,
See,
how
I
are you
thi-
going to make it better?
That's just teenagers.
Alcohol,
I feel that about my menopause. Seriously,
Well, it will go on forever. That's
I-
the difference.
Sweetheart, I have been in menopause for 10 years. I've been having hot flashes. It's never going to stop.
My mother believed that they really irrigated the skin, those hot flashes.
irrigates you
I'm gonna
behind.
have to go chop some wood or something after this.
Okay, so that's your analysis of the teenager.
I really think they're trying to make something better by medicating themselves. Obviously, it's not the answer. And you and I have lived long enough to know that things do change.
Yeah.
They get better, they get worse. They get better, they get worse.
Except for hot flashes.
Yeah, they go
Okay.
on forever.
Now, what about Britney Spears? Did she subconsciously know she was going to be photographed without her underwear? Katrina, just say yes or no. Do you agree? Because
Yes.
Okay, what do you think, Georgia?
Absolutely.
You do?
Oh, yeah. What do you think?
I don't know. Might have been an accident.
I don't know how
No, the three of
subconscious
them
it was.
announced it. They
She
announced
knew.
ahead of time that was their plan.
And why do they do
Oh,
that?
did they really want?
Why do they want people to look at their genitalia on camera? Why?
I guess because
They're
they've
not
already
po-
had everything else seen. I mean, this is
They're
like-
showing off their fabulous Brazilians. That's
How
what's
are you going to
interesting.
top? It's a top this. Talk about competitive girls in high school.
Yeah.
This sounds adolescent to me as well. And no sense of consequences. I mean, by the time you're older, you know there are consequences to everything. Things you didn't even dream would have
I
consequences.
know, but I never did anything like that. I mean, I wore underwear. I must have been slightly retarded, I think, compared to these girls because
Well,
I
things
did
have changed,
nothing.
though, too.
I mean, I was almost a virgin when I got married. Can you imagine that? I was almost a
Is there-
virgin.
Is there such?
I can imagine.
Can you be almost a virgin?
Yes,
Yes.
yes, you
That's
can.
like being sort of
I'll second
pregnant,
that.
No,
isn't it?
yeah, no.
No.
Oh,
You can
women
Oh,
out,
okay, all right, I got
women
you,
out
I
there
got you.
know what I mean when I say almost a virgin.
I got you. I was a little slow figuring it out, but I think
Yeah.
I'm with you now.
So you say that this is an exhibitionism.
Yes.
So explain to me what is behind exhibitionism.
And I really think that what they have seen, unfortunately, is just spell the name right, get my name out there, and I'm one step above whoever else is out there.
But does Brittany need that?
yeah, that's right.
Brittany coming out of a marriage where she was, with the kids, and for a long time she wasn't this sexy singer anymore. I think she thinks that, she's in a gang now. And again, this is the hyper reality. These young women are surrounded by yes people. They're surrounded by people who earn their living.
I know, but Georgia, let's go back into the history for
Yeah.
a second. Do you think some of these girls were molested?
That I don't know.
Well-
but my guess is no, Joy. This may surprise you. People of a history of early molestation have really a very different kind of behavior. You will see hypersexuality much earlier than this. This is like, I got separated from Kevin, and here I am, world. I want to be seen now. And this is how I can do it. I'm with Paris. I'm
Why
with
can't you have a
Lindsay.
delayed reaction? A lot of people, I think, who are really fat sometimes, really fat.
Yeah.
I've discussed this with other people, and they say that is a sort of a cover for the molestation. It's like, keep away from me, stay away from me, and so that's why they're fat. So these might be girls who are, acting out something from their past. What do you think?
Absolutely could be.
Yeah.
But in general, would that be my first diagnosis? It really wouldn't be, because I think that it can go the other way, too. That's a 2020 retrospect kind of diagnosis where you say, well, years later, oh, that must have happened long ago. People who are molested sometimes become hyposexual instead of hypersexual.
What does that mean, hypo?
Less. Too little.
Less.
Turned off. Numb.
So you said with the fat example.
Yeah,
You're
that would be the
can't
other
stay away.
example
Exactly.
of it. Okay.
Do you think any of these people are like just kind of hooked on being the couple or the person who's on the cover of all the magazines, and then if somebody else has got it because they broke up, it's like it's competitive to like, or who's on the cover of the magazine this week? I was last week. Oh my God, I'm not on it this week. I'm losing ground. Or
I
something
believe
like
that they have an addiction to publicity. That some people have an addiction to publicity.
Yeah, with Paris Hilton topping the list. I mean, again, the question is, what does she do? She's a celebutante.
Yeah.
They're saying. I mean, she sort of has a song, sort of, and she sort of has a reality show, sort of, and that's
line.
what
You want a
sort of-
diagnosis, Joy? I'll give you a diagnosis. I think that this is all antidepressant kind of behavior.
Oh, that's good.
Because I think that every high, every stimulant, including adrenaline, as well as all the other drugs they're doing, is really an attempt to not sink into depression where they feel like, where am I? Who am I? What am I going with?
Right.
The future?
Right,
What
they
am
have to
I
be in the
worth?
spotlight to feel okay. Yeah.
Not everybody becomes a Paris, becomes a Lindsay. You really have
Well,
to be
they don't all have the looks. I mean, Paris Hilton's got the looks. That's why she's where she is. But I have one word for her: Zoloft. Take some medication. You're so depressed. Do we
It's
have to?
certainly safer than...
Exactly.
I think I would guess she almost would, is Paris' situation is she's almost addicted, because I mean all
Exactly.
she has is this weird celebrity that we don't know why it exists.
Well, she's kind of like the
She's supposed
Zsa Zsa
to feel
Gabor
herself.
of the present generation. Remember Zsa Zsa? She had no talent. She had no discernible talent whatsoever. She just used to be on talk shows
Out
and
there.
marry rich guys, and she used to be pretty when she was young, and then she got fat, and she still stayed on talk shows. She did nothing.
So you're
About
saying,
3
are these
acres.
people who are attention seekers?
No, that's Ava
Or is that her
Gabor.
sister?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's
so
it
there
was
are-
jealousy then.
So you're giving
there
great diagnoses. You're really saying that there are people who are attention seekers, who are desperate to have attention no matter what it takes,
Right.
and need the rush.
Yeah, they're hooked
And if
on
they
it.
don't get the rush this way, they'll get the rush, with alcohol or flashing or dancing or
Right.
being outrageous. Absolutely.
Okay, let's.
Not an example of that, but that's another.
Tell me
Yeah.
about him.
No, wait. Before we go to him, we have Richard Lewis on the phone.
Great.
Hey,
Hey,
Lewis.
Richard, from Curb Your Enthusiasm and many other
Stop
things.
it. First of all, you're all out of your minds.
Listen, are you attracted to women with big eyes?
Hold on a minute. First of all, I apologize. My car blew up, and I didn't call you. The therapist is very bright, but when she came on with the pupil theory, I wouldn't go to her with a gun to my head.
Why not? Listen, are you attracted to Jennifer Aniston?
Can I just tell you something? You guys are covering, and the doctor really is very smart. And by the way, who's the man talking? Is that Paul Winchell? No one told me there was who was.
It's Ben Bailey from Cash Cab on the Discovery Channel.
Oh, okay.
Does
How
he
you
sound
doing?
like
I
Paul
didn't know.
Winchell?
How you doing?
What are you,
I
a
sound like an old-time broadcaster?
No, I didn't know.
He's got a great
Don't
voice.
Give me an old timer. I didn't know. They said it was the therapist and Joy, and then all of a sudden I hear Orson Welles' ghost.
Well, thank you for
know
asking, man.
something? Listen, you know what? First of all, I know everyone cares about these stars and everything, and but I think you've touched a lot of bases. But I think all of it is partially true, but a lot of it we don't know. We don't know if they were raped. We don't know if they were abused
Exactly.
sexually.
We don't know,
We
but you
if
might
they
know
have
something about Michael Richards, Richard.
who make them do this. stuff.
Richard.
We don't know a lot of stuff, so we're speculating. That's what.
All right, Richard.
You're right.
Richard Lewis, listen to me. You know Michael Richards, right?
I don't know him well. I know him for 30 years, but we were never friends.
Okay, so what happened to him? Because
First of all,
after,
I don't know him well enough to know if he's a racist. Okay, let's establish that.
well, come on.
No, hold on a second.
Like, the proof is in the pudding, honey.
With him, and he was watching TV, and he was saying stuff. first of all, I probably wouldn't hang around with him, but I don't know him well enough. But here's the bottom line about that is that, and very quickly, when Lenny Bruce and first Lenny and Pryor did bits and used all those words to say it's the intent, not the words to, those were profound, brilliant pieces. What I saw, at least, on the show, on his show, was maybe a chemical problem he had. I don't know if he takes any drugs. Not like.
Oh, I don't know.
Prescription. He was off his meds or something.
It was not profound. It was not a premise. It was not great comedy. So it gives you pause to reflect whether this guy really had. He panicked.
Wait a second. He went on an anti-Semitic rant I heard the year before. He calls a woman the C word. Come on. He's a bad guy. I'm sorry.
No, I don't like that unless it's a great premise, and like Lenny did that stuff to say the words mean nothing unless you really mean what you're saying. You know those famous routines Bruce did in Pryor.
Yeah, but I know Lenny Bruce's work, but Lenny Bruce was funny. Michael Richards was not funny. Maybe that's his real problem, is that he's not a comic.
You can get away with saying something if it's funny.
He's an actor, and I don't know how great he was as a stand, but that's beside the point. I don't even care. I know more racist plumbers than comedians. I mean, just because he's famous, we're making a big deal. I think the bigger issue is that people are, not in touch with how their dark side, and it comes out, and and it came out like this. This is because he's famous. But
yeah.
I know a lot of people on the streets who say stuff like this.
Right.
I don't want to have anything to do with them.
Okay, listen, before I let you go, because I got to go to a break, how's Larry David, my pal? I love Larry.
Yeah, I don't know. The therapist should psychoanalyze Larry. I think Larry loves being a star.
He does,
Larry's a genius, and it's a trip being on the show. With your pal Essman, who's insanely brilliant. Everyone is. Present company, excluded. I mean, it's just a trip being on that show to have. You better go to a commercial, but I have much more to say.
Well, you know what? Before I let you go, tell me what you're doing.
Are you letting me go? You're hanging up on me?
Oh, no, I have to, yes, because we have too much other things to do here. I can't talk to just you.
Such a put down. What are you, you juggling?
We thought your car was on fire in the background.
I'm so busy here. I have so many people in this room with me here. I've never been lonely in this room. What?
Radio appearance.
Huh?
I'm doing 4 shows in New York in February. It's a very beautiful venue called Comics. And if I don't sell it out, I'm going to blow my brains out.
Now that's radio, baby.
Okay,
right now, because otherwise I'm going to kill myself.
That's Comics, COMIX. It's downtown. It's a new comedy room.
9th, yeah.
Okay, what's the date? What are the dates?
Now, and I could die on stage.
What are the dates, Richard?
23rd, 24th, Comics, a beautiful new club on 14th and 9th Avenue.
Okay, Richard, good luck. I'll come down and see you in February.
I really appreciate the 20 seconds.
No, you're welcome. Anytime.
You're listening to Joy Behar from The View.
92.3 Free FM.